Hey guys, and you can see I'm not really with you right now, but I'm going to finish the perception sensation lecture, starting with depth perception, which is the ability to see objects in 3 dimensions, allow images to strike the retina as 2, allowing objects to just distance. So right now I'm sitting on top of a hotel, and I'm looking out, and I see a hotel, and I pick it up as a 3D square. I don't see it as a flat image on a TV screen. The visual cliff was a laboratory device for testing depth perception in infants and young animals. It was kind of like it was a tiled floor, and there was a drop in it with plexiglass over it. And they had babies, crawl across to their mothers to see if they would detect the drop. Monocular clues are distance cues available to either eye alone. So examples of these are relative size. Larger objects appear to be closer, and smaller objects appear to be farther away. So the cars that are in front of me look farther away than the big hotel that is just behind it. Interposition is the overlap when a closer object cuts off the view of more distant ones. So, same example, I see the hotel because it's closer, but I can't really see the city behind it because it's blocking my view. Relative clarity is closer objects appear sharper than more distant ones. So, the floor I'm sitting on, I can sense the texture perfectly. I know exactly what it looks like. But if I were to look at the top of the building, it kind of seems to look just kind of whatever. I can't really detect any of the specifics of it. Texture gradient is objects that are closer but seem more coarse and distinct than textures that are far away. So kind of on the same pace, the ground, the texture is easily made out. But if I look, at the building, if there were any scratches on it, I wouldn't be able to know. It kind of just looks like one perfect smooth texture. Relative height are objects closer to the horizon appear to be the farthest away from you. The lowest objects in a field of view generally seem to be the closest. So the things that are farthest out, like into the city, seem the farthest because they're sitting on the horizon. But the cars who are only maybe a mile away from me seem closer. Relative height are, I already did that, I'm sorry. Linear perspective are when parallel lines seem to converge. So if you were to look at 2 sets of railroad tracks that go on forever that are perfectly parallel, at one point in time they're going to start crossing, or at least that's what your eyes are going to tell you. Light and shadow are objects that are farther away seem dimmer and objects that are further away. Okay, so binocular clues are depth clues that depends on the use of 2 eyes. So with the binocular clues, you can use either eye, but with this it needs to be both. So one of them was retinal disparity, which is the great difference between 2 inches the closer the object. So, if you put your thumb right in front of your face and switch eyes, it's going to look like it's in 2 different places. Convergence is the extent to which the eye converges inward when looking at an object. So, that's the whole cross-eye effect. You try to look at your nose and your eyes point in. Perceptual consistency is perceiving objects as unchanging even when the illumination or retinal images change. So, there's a door right here. So, I know that this door is a rectangle, regardless. Even when it opens, it kind of looks like a trapezoid, but no, it is a rectangle. So, like that shape, an object appears to maintain its normal shape regardless of the angle it's reviewed, like the door. Size. An object appears to stay the same size despite the image cast on the retina and moves farther or closer. So, the building right there, I know is huge, even though it looks little, far away, regardless of how far close it is. Brightness. An object maintains a particular level of brightness regardless of the amount of light reflected on it. So, I guess more so with color, when you can tell what color is regardless of how much light. Alright, extrasensory perception, also known as ESP, is the controversial claim that perception can occur apart from real sensory input. This is the whole, I'm clairvoyant, I can tell the future, I see dead people, all of that type of thing. So that whole thing is called parapsychology, and it's the study of paranormal occurrences. The first common one is telepathy, which is, that whole mind-to-mind communication. I can read your mind, I know what's going on. Clairvoyancy is the perception of remote events. So, if you're clairvoyant, you can, you see ghosts, you see dead people. Precognition is what it sounds like, pre-thinking, is the perception of future events. I can tell the future. Telekinesis or cytokinesis is moving remote objects through mental processes, which sounds really difficult for something that I'm moving a pen across the room with my mind. Alright, well that's the whole lecture. Bye guys.